What do you want to do with your life? Engineering, acting, psychiatry, psychology, journalism, law school, construction work, medical school. When are you going to stop asking, what do you want to do, and start asking, who do you want to be? When I was 15 years old, I was a senior in high school, and my father was driving me home. I was dozing off in the passenger seat, and he hit me with a question. And it wasn't much of a question, it was more of a statement. And he said, college is coming up for you. You need to figure out what you want to do with your life. And I got excited and I said, I know what I want to do. I want to do writing. And he gave me this look that kind of said, you better change your answer before I take your ass back to school. But what he actually said was, writing? Is that even a major? And I said, yeah, it's called creative writing. And he kind of just shook his head and he laughed. And here I am, 4 years later, and my dad is somewhere in this audience, and every time I think of that story, every time I think of that day, I smile. I smile because my father wasn't mad. He wasn't disappointed. He sure as hell wasn't ashamed. He just wanted me to get a secure job, a secure paycheck. He was just worried, just like any other parent would be. But that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call to not want to do writing, but to be a writer. So I set out to write a novel. I was 15 years old, so I told my friends I'm writing a novel. They didn't care. I told my family I'm writing a novel. They didn't really believe me, but I was still hyped up to tell this story that I had in my head. I knew that with this passion was coming a lot of hard work. So I had the story in my head, the music playing in my ears. I got really excited, and I did the first thing every writer does. I got to my computer and my keyboard, and I procrastinated. I went to Reddit. I started reading a bunch of irrelevant articles. I started seeing way too many cat pictures until I got to one picture that felt like God slapping me in the face with his hand. And that picture was titled, "This is what it looks like to finish a novel." The orange X's meant that the guy wrote 500 words a day. The blue X's meant he wrote 800 words that day. And the sad faces meant he didn't write any. So I figured this was the way to make me really get this done. So I got my calendar, my orange markers, my blue markers, and my sad face drawing skills in check. And I spent 180 days writing this book that I wanted to write so bad called The Man in Red. And after those 6 months, I had accumulated 12 sad faces. And at the end of it all, it was done. 334 pages, a novel called The Man in Red, and I was 16 years old. And I had never been happier in my life. But then, these thoughts started coming into my head, these thoughts about secure paycheck, and these thoughts about secure job. So I sold out. I added marketing as my second major. And I had read a quote that said, having a plan B distracts you from your plan A. But I didn't believe it. I started taking my marketing classes, and the more I hated them, the more I realized I was living somebody else's life. I was living the life of a marketer. I don't want to be a marketer, I want to be a writer. I was living the life of somebody who didn't want to chase what made them happy. I was living the life of somebody who just wanted that secure job. And the more I realized that I hated that plan B, the more I realized plan A was slowly going downhill. I started writing less and less. And right before it could crash and burn, I threw away marketing. I dropped the major. I got right back to my writing because I knew that was my gift. My gift wasn't that I thought I wrote a good book. My gift wasn't that I was writing. My gift was I wanted to be a writer. And I'm not here to convince you guys to write. I'm here to tell you guys everyone has a gift. And it doesn't have to be writing or acting or drawing or sculpting or anything creative. Sometimes your gift is just that you work hard. Sometimes your gift is just that you really love something. And what a shame it would be to live your whole life and never use that gift. Because your gift is right here, and it's a parachute on your back. And we're all standing on the cliff of life, and it's going to be so scary when someone tells you to jump. It's going to be so scary because you have no idea what's down there. It was scary to look my dad in the eyes and say, as badly as you wanted me to be an engineer, as badly as you wanted me to be a doctor, I want to be a writer. And I promise you, it's scary. And you're going to jump, and you're going to wish you didn't jump, and you're going to say, why did I do that? This thing's never going to open. And I promise you, it's going to feel like it's never going to open until it does. And it will. Thank you.